Welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, let's enjoy a couple of minutes of beautiful Arizona scenery. Alright, let's begin the 2021 winter exploring season. Turn that down a bit there. There we go. All right. Well, hey everybody. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. And hey, thank you all for being so very patient with me over the month of November. Yeah, as I said in my Goodbye for Now video, November did turn out to be pretty crazy for me. Had a lot of stuff going on. Old Bob here was in the shop just a little bit longer than expected. But we got it done. Thanks to the good folks at Summit 4x4. They dialed this Jeep in absolute perfect. I couldn't be happier with the new lift kit from Rock Crawler and Terraflex. This thing is just absolutely incredible. I couldn't be happier. So again, thanks to all the guys over there at Summit 4x4 for getting old Bob put together just the way that I wanted. So guys, all right, well, what are we doing today? Gosh, I'm so happy to be back. I've kind of been having withdrawals, not being able to get out and explore something. So, all right, here's what we're doing today, folks. We are headed back to a gold mine that I explored in the very, very first video that I ever produced on my YouTube channel. Back then it was called Premiere Episode. I produced it and put it out on YouTube roughly 2 years ago. Now, back then, I was not quite a year out of chemo, and I mean, to get to this mine was one heck of a challenge for me. Yeah, I mean, I was huffing and puffing. I was still struggling with chemo brain and terrible neuropathy in my legs, and that's why I wanted to come back to this location, because here I am 2 years later feeling better than ever. So last time when I was here, I just slogged to try up the hill to try to get to this mine. Today, let's just run up the darn hill, okay? All right, and another thing, guys, today is December 1st, 2021, and guess what that day is? It's my birthday. That's right. Today is my birthday. I turned 50 years old. So a heck of a day to head back out to a great location. This is a really, really neat mine. And now that we've got all the fancy toys and drones and the cool cameras, let's head up to this gold mine and revisit it. And one more thing, guys. One more thing. You're going to want to watch all the way to the end of today's episode, because I got a special announcement for you, okay? So, yeah, make sure you watch all the way to the very, very end. All right, so what do you say we head up this wash? We got a wash right up here we got to go to. We can only get so far, and then we're going to have to park old Bob and walk the rest of the way in, because it's a big valley that we've got to climb up. So let's head over there next. Yeah, like I was saying, sure does feel good to be back in the driver's seat of what is now a really capable vehicle. This is just awesome. And I've got some fantastic places I'm going to be showing you guys this winter. Now, to all of my old subscribers, especially those that have been with me since the very beginning, you know that I started my YouTube channel as a means of physical and mental therapy, getting out of chemo. But now that I've jumped all those hurdles, now I'm just doing this because I absolutely love it, and the incredible support that I'm getting from you guys, this is great. I'm really happy that you all are enjoying this, and I love taking you on these adventures. Oh, and by the way, while I was gone during the month of November, the channel picked up at least right around 1,000 new subscribers. So hey, thanks to all of my new subscribers who have jumped on board over the last month. I really do appreciate it. That's just awesome, guys. This is a really fun adventure abandoned mine exploring channel. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and that's what we're doing right now. So let me tell you a little bit about this mine we're going to while we work our way up this wash. So this is indeed a gold mine, and we're gonna try to explore a total of 3 portals today. There's no way of being able to drive up here. You gotta park and hike to get to them. Now, in Premiere Episode, I explored 2 out of the 3 portals. I didn't get to the 3rd in Premiere because my legs were just hurting too bad. So today, we're gonna try to get to that 3rd portal and see if that does indeed go inside the mountain, or if it's just kind of like like what I'd call like a shallow cut or a prospect pit. So we're getting a little closer here. We should be up to where we're gonna park the Jeep here in a moment. jar. This is a good place to park right here. Made it. Nice. Had a bit of an obstacle back there. Definitely was one that I wouldn't have attempted before I got this new lift kit. No way. The last time I was here, I parked probably a good 200-300 yards back there. Not this time. Gotta love that new rock crawler suspension. Okay guys, well, let's suit up and we're gonna start walking up this canyon. That's where the first two are. Let's get going that direction. All right, guys, made it to portal number 1. That wasn't too bad. Now, 2 years ago, when I climbed this hill, it took me about, I'm guessing, an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours, something like that, as I recall. But today I did it in 45 minutes. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. All right, if you look behind me here, this is my my locator flag. Now, I abide by a very strict set of rules when I'm out solo exploring, and I want to go over with that with you guys. Not in this video. I'm going to be making another video to show you guys what I do when I'm out solo exploring. And again, that's another reason I want you to watch this video all the way to the very end to see what I have for you. Okay, portal number 1. Portal number 2's right up over the hill behind me here, so we're going to have to do a little bit of climbing. So let's get started on this one first. All right, everybody, let's explore this old mine. So off to my left here, you can see all the vent pipe. And for those of you way back in the day who watched premiere episode, you can remember me talking about that. So, hey, I'll just talk about it again. So yeah, vent pipe, venting was used in these mines to create a zone of positive air pressure up inside the mine. And that helped evacuate dust during blasting, as well as ore removal, etc. Now, in larger mines, what they would do, especially if they're creating an open stope, they would just open that stope right up and out to the surface, and that would allow for natural airflow up and out of the mine. And then in some situations, venting wouldn't be needed. So what we've got here, between these two portals, one is 500 feet long and the other one is 225 feet, according to the report from 1945. As I'm looking down here on the ground, I'm not seeing any footprints. I am seeing a few critter prints. Looks like coyote to me. that's about it right now. Smells pretty batty in here. So what they were going after here, you can see the vein. That's why they're driving this haulage adit in right here. Take a look there over to the right. You can see the vein at a shallow angle running from lower left to upper right. I'll use my laser right here to point it out. Now, according to the report, the vein varied in width from 8 to 18 feet on this one. But right now, from what I'm seeing, it's pretty skinny in here. Yeah. Now, I was observing the material out in the waste rock pile outside, and I was seeing a lot of brecciated material, so it wouldn't surprise me, even though I didn't read it in the report, that they were getting some silver out of here as a secondary commodity. There you can see the vein right there. They were mining into a bunch of what's called criscola, okay? And that vein of criscola was running in between like a mica schist and a limestone footwall. So I don't know if it was this portal or the other one. I can't quite remember. But the footwall is limestone. The hanging wall is a type of mica schist. All right. Yep. Here's the winds. There was a small winds here. I read that in the report. Just a little thing going down. Nothing major. All right, turning back around and looking above me here, I want to point this out because the vein is really defined in that area, so much so you can see that they actually were attempting a raise at this location. Very nice. Okay, moving on. So we are in, well, I'm not going to tell you where we're at, but I'm just going to say that we're in prime mountain lion habitat in this location. And looking up there, make sure we don't have no glowing eyes at us. Yep, prime mountain lion habitat. So I do have protection with me. It's only to be used in self-defense as a very, 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 very last resort. Now, typically, animals, if you do encounter them, they're a heck of a lot more afraid of you than you are of them. So if you give them a wide berth, generally, they will scoot right past you and get the heck out of here. But, you know, mountain lions are not going to crawl way up into a mine like this unless they have an escape pathway out. Now right here you can see the miners tapped in a couple of stalls and made a like a little platform up there so that they can work that raise. And down here, yeah, they had a ladder, and there looks like there's something going off to the left over here. Tell you what, let's revisit that on the way back. Yeah, I want to show you guys something here. Look at what they were working up here in this raise. Isn't that pretty? Right there. Now, I'll turn the laser back on. Come on, laser. There we go. Now, the distance from there to here is about 16 inches. And there may be gold in there, but from what I can see, that certainly looks rich in silver, because all the sparkling stuff you're seeing in that is galena. All right, turn it back down here. All right, let's continue on the main haulage. Anyways, back to cats. So yeah, they're not going to come way back up in here if they don't have an escape route. And that's why that one that I believe I ran into, I think it was, 2 summers ago, where I turned around and tripped over my own feet trying to get the heck out of there. I didn't know what it was, if it was an animal or something else, but he had an escape route, and I believe he went right up that ore pass kicking rocks, and I thought that it was a minor collapse occurring, but I think it was a large animal going up that. Anyways, we've got 1941 here, a Moore. Yep, and I can't quite read Harper. Yeah, it looks like DB Harper up there from 48. Okay, continuing on. So as we work our way deeper and deeper, I saw a mark on the wall back there. It said 200. Since this is early December, we have not come into bat migratory yet. So these mines we're not going to be seeing too many bats right now. Typically I start to see those guys in late December, and then they progressively get more and more and more as we get to peak migratory, which is in March. Now, if you can remember that mine that Mr. M and I explored last winter that was just filled with bat guano, I mean, we're talking 2, 3, 4 feet deep. I plan on going back to that mine because I believe that there's going to be tens, if not hundreds of thousands of bats. So I'm going to put on special gear, and we're going to go in there, and it's going to be really crazy having thousands of bats circling me. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we're not anywhere near peak migratory right now. So I'm not going to be seeing too many bats. All right, that is it. So this was definitely the 225-foot haulage at it. Let's turn back around here. There we go. I'll tell you what, I'll take you guys with me. We'll just work our way right back out again. Yeah, not much in the way of artifacts up in this one. Not really. But I think with these new cameras and lighting and everything that I have now that I didn't have back in premiere episode, you guys are probably enjoying the color in this mine a whole lot better. And that's why I wanted to come up here. Well, that, and I just really wanted to conquer that hill in less than an hour. I think it's like the Rocky Balboa version of me climbing a hill in abandoned mine exploring, you know what I mean? I'd play the theme music right now, but I'd get a copyright strike. There we go. Right there. T-I-N-G-L-E-R. Tingler. All right. See, we didn't see that coming in. All right, continuing on. Now, if I remember correctly, the next portal, that's the one where we saw all that beautiful blue Criscola. And there was a couple of old sticks of dynamite in that one. Yeah. We'll go check that one out next. Now, to my new subscribers, you see this plate right here? This big steel plate. Okay, well, that is called a muck sheet. Okay, and what that's used for is, so when you're working the drift or the haulage at it deeper and deeper, you lay that down on the floor, and then you blast the face, and then all the rock, after the blast, it kicks down, falls on the floor, and lands on the muck sheet because it's a heck of a lot easier to scoop the material and haul it out off of a muck sheet than it is off of the floor. All this loose gravel and rock on the floor, and that's what that's what a muck sheet's used for. Now there's another purpose. Let's look up in here. Oh yeah, look at that vein. Isn't that beautiful? Sparkly's in there. Look at all the calcite. Yep. All right, turn it back around. Yeah, down here on the floor, you can see, I can see safety fuse, spent safety fuse. And, oh, that's a pretty piece right there, huh? Look at that. Here, let me turn my lights down a bit. It's a bit too bright. Look at all the sparklies in that. That's calcite. Yep. All right, where was I? So yeah, the other thing a muck sheet is used for is they will brace it up right before a blast when they're blasting the face, and it prevents fly rock from flying back into the haulage at it during the blast and making a mess out of things. And that's why, here, let me turn around here and show you guys. Right there. You see all them little dents? There's one there, and there's one there. See that dent? Okay. Well, that's from high velocity rock hitting that plate during the blast. It's a lot better to hit the plate and stop right there than to make a mess out of the haulage at it. Then you got to go through with hand tools and clean it all up again. That's why they did it that way. Ooh. Well, that's a pretty piece right here. Let me show you this here. Right there. Ooh, it even has a little bit of crisp cola in there. Sure does. Yep. I think I'm going to keep that one. That's a nice looking piece. Yeah, okay. We'll hold on to that one for a sample. Maybe I'll put that up on the eBay site. Speaking of the eBay site, I got some cool stuff for you guys coming up. Let's just call it for right now channel souvenirs, so to speak. And yeah, just some things that I no longer use for the channel. Some old cameras, some equipment, things of that nature. I thought you guys might like to bid on for a cool souvenir from the show. You look at that vein. Isn't that pretty? It's about 8 inches across through there. And I'm seeing some limonite in it too. Very good. Yeah, so as we work our way deeper into the winter exploring season, I'll be talking more about that stuff. And a lot of you have wanted me to do some camera reviews and equipment reviews. And once again, that's the other reason why I want you guys to keep watching for what I've got for you at the end of this video. All right, ouch. Oh, that really... And that, folks, is why we wear a helmet. Yep. All right, working our way back out. I think we're almost to the portal here. Not a whole lot to see in this one for artifacts, but definitely some cool geology and checking out the vein. Okay, well, I'm gonna head back out and put all the gear away, start hiking up to the hill. Let's work our way to portal number 2. I'll see you up there.
Now, before we leave portal number 1, I just wanted to show you some really cool graffiti that I found 2 years ago when I explored this mine for the very first time. Take a look at this right here. (1903). Then around the corner, there was another portal And this one only went in for maybe 50 to 100 feet. If you'd like to take a look at this one, please go back and check out premiere episode. Now as we work our way further up the canyon, you can see portal number 1 there in the bottom. But notice the vein following up the wash. You can see the discoloration. It's a lot lighter in color, and that's because a lot of that was barite. But the vein is easily recognizable, and these were the things that the prospectors looked for back in the early days, scouting these hills and looking for the potential for gold and silver.
All right, everybody, here we are at portal number 2. Didn't take too long to hike up here, maybe another 150 yards higher up on the hill. We got the safety flag set out. Now there's a couple things out here I want to show you before we go inside, right over there. Now take a look down here on the ground. See all of the blue criscola down there? So we had some people up here at one point, and they grabbed some samples from maybe inside or maybe just out here in the waste rock pile. But look at the blue on that. Isn't that pretty? Yep, that means that we've got trace elements of copper up here. But that's what they were finding the gold in that material also. Another interesting thing up here, I may have showed this on my premiere video. There's a old gear laying there on this board that somebody found. And another thing I'm seeing up here is, let's see, where was it? Let's go right over here. In the waste rock pile right here, look at that. Not only am I seeing a whole lot of brecciated limestone mixed in with the surrounding mica schist type material, but I'm also seeing a barite. Look at the barite in there. Now you always know it's barite because of the real elongated crystals, and I can see them all throughout that stuff. Now a lot of times you'll find very large silver deposits in barite. All right, here we are. Yeah, that's just all my stuff laying on there on the floor. Another thing I found laying here was this old tool right there. And I wonder how many times that was whacked making holes for dynamite. I mean, look at the end. Look at how knurled the end is right there. All right, besides an old tin can, nothing much right here at the portal. Let's head on inside. And the first thing, as I always do, I'm looking for critter tracks or anything like that. We're not in an area of Arizona that has a lot of wild pigs, so I'm not too worried about those critters. Mr. M and I were finding a lot of wild pig scat in the area around Wickenburg and up around Prescott last winter, and I'm not seeing any signs of that here. Okay, let's keep on going. Yep, getting a little bit more batty. Oh yeah, there's one final thing I want to touch upon, because, and the only reason I'm talking about it is because so many in the comment section are always asking me about it. And getting back on I just lost my train of thought. Getting back on the kitty cats, yes. Just like your house cat at home, they like to perch in places that are high, where they have a nice field of view, and they can look around and look down on their prey. I mean, you notice that type of behavior in your house cat. Well, big cats like to do the same. That's why they perch on rocks, on cliffs, and things like that, so that they can look down at any promising prey. And that is why you're probably not going to find a big kitty in one of these abandoned mines. There's really no reason for them to come in here. All right, yeah, here we go. Look at that. This is what I wanted to point out to you guys, and another reason why I wanted to come back to this mine. Look at that beautiful blue Chrysocolla right there. Isn't that pretty? Oh yeah, somebody was up here smacking on it within the last couple of years. It looks a little bit different. Now, I may try to find another piece for you. That's just a beautiful semi-opalized chunk right there. We'll come back here. Maybe I can get a nice baseball-sized chunk for a souvenir for one of you guys. It's beautiful. All right. Now, we found huge veins of that at a place in Southern California, I think it was, last winter. Yeah. Now, look up there. You see how it's intermixed or brecciated? Take a look at how the limestone has been like broken up. So what you have is superheated hydrothermal fluids squeezing their way up through these cracks when it was deep in the earth, and it's under so much pressure that the limestone breaks off, okay, and becomes a part of that those hydrothermal fluids, and over time it eventually solidifies, and you get what you see right there, all those little broken pieces intermixed in with the ore body. That's called brecciation or brecciated. Now, there used to be somewhere around here, I remember there was a stick of dynamite that was laying up here on this pack rat nest. I don't see it no more. Maybe Mr. Pack Rat had a bad day. But let's continue on. Okay. There we go. Oh, I forgot. We got a winze here. Look at that. Yeah. Well, it goes pretty deep down in there too. Sure does. Yeah, and that ladder looks, I don't know, halfway decent. Well, let's keep that on the menu. And we've got a stope going up this direction. Again, they're following the vein. Yeah, this haulage adit is the one that goes 500 feet. All right, moving along. Now, as it said in the report from 1945, the ore body here was between 8 and 18 feet across. It's definitely 8 feet across here. Ooh, pew, it's getting really batty in here now. Yep, looking down, here's another. So at one time, I'll bet this is the top part of a stope into maybe a lower working, and then they backfilled it. A lot easier to backfill an old stope than it is to haul all that material back out of the mine, all that waste rock. Okay, here's where our stink is coming from. Look at that big pile of guano right there. Yeah. And it is exactly as the report states. The It appears that the hanging wall is a mica schist, and off here to the right, we've got limestone. Yep. Now this mine was dropped in sometime around 1940, right in there. I think what we're gonna do, guys, is go right. Let's just go to the right. Yeah, it was early 40s, and probably shut down when World War II started. And this one doesn't go very far at all, just stops right here. Okay, turn it back around. Yep. Oh, hey, check this out, guys. Let me show you something. There's a cave feature right there. We got flowstone coming down the hanging wall. See that? All that mineralization working its way down the hanging wall created that formation of calcite or flowstone. You see that sometimes in these mines. As the miners go deeper into the mine, they come into these fissures and faults, and sometimes they'll actually blast right into an old cave. I've seen some pretty good examples of that in previous episodes and previous mines that I've explored. Okay, what's that say? L-O-R-T-Y? I can barely make out, maybe 1963. We had a visitor in here. Yeah. All right, getting even stinkier. Now, when it gets too stinky, that's when I don my mask. Here we go. This is where we got some more graffiti. 1962, maybe? K-I-N-S. Is how I read it at a glance. Yeah, when it starts getting too stinky, then I'll don my respirator. Now, for my new subscribers, as I'm exploring these abandoned mines, you might be wondering about dust and things like that, kind of stuff that I probably shouldn't be breathing in. Well, you got to remember, I'm not working in these mines. I'm not chipping away at rock. I'm not doing any type of stuff like that. So I do my very best to try not to kick up dust if at all possible, because indeed you have two things to worry about down here in the Southwest, and that's histoplasmosis, which is a fungus that grows off of bat guano. Look at the vein up in there. And let's turn it back around here. Yeah, histoplasmosis. You don't want to get that in your lungs. That's like a fungus. It'll cause symptoms similar to pneumonia. And the other thing is hantavirus, but you haven't been hearing too many reports of that in the news. Those were kind of isolated incidents back in the 90s. And where hantavirus comes from is deer mice. So if you're cleaning out a shed, if you're down in the Southwest, you're cleaning out a shed or something like that, and you're taking a broom and kicking up a bunch of dust, you got to be wary of hantavirus. But like I was saying, I don't kick up a whole lot of dust in these places. At least I try not to. And that's why I generally don't wear a mask. And the other reason is, when I'm wearing a mask, let me look at something real quick. When I'm wearing a mask, you guys can't hear me very well in the audio. There's one place I didn't point the camera. Let me show you this. Take a look. Right up there. Yeah, there's a raise going up that way, or actually a small stope. Yeah, they really went after it up there, didn't they? Okay. Well, I take that back. Apparently, I got my report wrong. It seems like the other mine was 500 feet long, but this is the 225. This one's a lot shorter. Now, let's go back. Yeah, here we go. Look at here. Look at here. This is what I was talking about outside. Right there. First of all, we've got a bit of graffiti, but I can't make it out. No, it's very, very, very faint. But there's the barite. Okay. See the elongated crystals in that? Right there. Great source, like right here. See, right there. Great source for some silver. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this winds. Right here. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Is that... You know what I would like to see? Here, I'll tell you what. Well, how am I going to do this? I got to set the camera in such a place where I can reach for it. This is indeed a thing that we didn't explore. The very, very, very first time that I was here. Ew, I just put my finger in a whole bunch of bat guano. Oh, let's take a... That's a weird place to put a... I don't know if I can fit down here, guys. Hey, whiz. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can get around that board or not with this. I can't do this with my thingy on here. Nope. Not enough space. Got to take that off. All right. Now, turn this around. Okay. There we go. Use this little tiny ladder here to at least get to that point. Okay. There. Uh-oh, malfunction. Stop that, Mr. Camera. There we go. All right, what do we got down here, huh? Now, I want to try to do this without kicking up dust like I was talking about. Get off that dirt. Ah, shoot. Yeah, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. All right. Here we go. Now, a lot of my older subscribers, you know that I'm kind of touched. But to my newer subscribers, you're probably asking yourselves or wondering, you got to be nuts. You're God knows how many miles away from civilization. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You're crawling down in an abandoned mine all by yourself. Isn't that a little bit dangerous? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. It's very dangerous. But I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm very confident in my skills and looking at the geology and looking at things that could, you know, potentially get me hurt, like fissures and cracks and things of that nature. What do we have down here? Is that a skeleton? Just might be. And so, you know, sometimes you're going to see me do stuff that looks really crazy, and it kind of is, but I do have my limits, especially when I'm solo. But like this here, for example, this isn't looking too bad. We got a nice hanging wall above us here. One second, guys, I gotta get my footing. I can't do that while holding onto a camera. Let's try this here. And I don't want to make a bunch of dust. We got a beautiful hanging wall above our heads. It's unsupported, and the reason it is even the miners themselves said, yeah, we don't need to support that hanging wall with stalls, because it is a small distance between each side of the thing here. What do we have down here? Okay. What do we have? It's a bird. Yep. That is an old, some kind of a bird. Lots of dynamite boxes. Now let me show you something here before we get into the bird. There's some more Criscola. There, look at all the blue. Just look at that. It's everywhere. Okay, let's look at the bird. Come here, bird. Oh, it's a vulture. Look at that. There's his head. Ooh, he's crunchy. Come here. Come here, bird. That's what that is. That's a vulture. Yep. Hey, what do you say we all go out for a chicken dinner, huh? All right. Ooh, pew, he's stinky. All right, turn it back around. Okay. Let's look up where we came from. Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm just going to work my way back up. But if I see something cool along the way, I'll be sure to show it to you. Okay. Which one of you talked me into going down in here, huh? Huh? It was you, wasn't it? It was you. Let's see here. Almost out. Ooh. I can just get my foot. I need a footing here. There we go. Boy, that's skinny. Sure is. Woo! All right. So what we need to do next, I'm going to go see if I can get you guys a nice chunky piece of that Criscola over there as soon as I get out of this hole. There we go. All right. There it is. The blue goodness. It's even brecciated. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go back out here and grab that piece of steel I found coming in. I'll be right back. Okay, back again. see here. Now the trick is to try to get a piece without buggering it up. All falling down on my head here. Look at that. Oh, this is going to be a sweetheart. Come on now. Okay, I know there's at least 500 of you right now screaming at your phones and tablets and TV screens, and you're saying, why in the hell doesn't he bring himself a rock hammer? Well, because it's just one more thing that adds to the weight of my overall gear when I have to hike in or pack in up to these places. I mean, my gear right now is already at 48 pounds. Now I got to add a rock hammer? No. Improvise and adapt. Generally, these mines have stuff laying around that you can use in a pinch. Here I found a tool right here, a piece of metal. You know, the mine generally provides. Oh, guys, you got to see this. You got to see this. We got lucky on this. We got lucky. Let me show you. Where is it here? I gotta point the camera in the right direction. Right there. Oops. Okay. Right here. Look at this. Look at this. Right here. Oh yeah. There you go. Woohoo. Right there. Isn't that pretty? Yep. Yeah. I'm only going to take one piece for you guys, and here's why, okay? I don't mind every now and then selling a cool piece on my eBay site, but you know what? We got to leave some of this for future explorers to enjoy, you know what I mean? I mean, it's all throughout this mine, but you got to be considerate. But that's a real nice sample right there. I'll put up on the eBay site, and as always, 100% of the money goes directly back into the channel. And as a matter of fact, right now I'm pooling all the money together so that I can purchase the new Mavic 3 drone, which is going to offer some spectacular cinematic shots for the channel. But those things are pricey, so we just got to keep adding to the piggy bank. All right, this is the one, guys. Look at the back. Let's see what the backside looks. Oh yeah, lots of sparklies. Yep. Okay, I'm going to put that in my backpack. All right, so we'll leave the rest of that there for future explorers. And what do you say we head back to the portal? Because what we need to do now is we need to work our way all the way back down this canyon, almost to Old Bob, before we then make a right-hand turn, because portal number 3 is up in the other canyon due south of this position. So I got a bit of hiking to do to get over there, but that's where we're headed next. Okay? All right, that was fun, guys. We'll see you over at the next one. All right, guys, made it back to Old Bob, safe and sound. Yeah, I just took a break. I had a sandwich and drank a bunch of water. And I just don't have enough legs underneath me to walk up that next canyon to explore that third portal as much as I want to. I'm still suffering from foot to butt neuropathy, and the longer I spend on my feet, the kind of neuropathy I have, it's called gravitating neuropathy, and it gravitates from your feet all until it finally gets really bad and works its way all the way into your butt. Right now it's up past my knees, and my legs have turned into noodles. So when it gets to be like that, it's just not safe to hike any further because you could twist an ankle, fall, break something. It's just not wise. I thought about flying the drone up there, but I can't get a line of sight. You know, you need a line of sight on your drone. If you lose that, you just lose signal. And in order to get line of sight, I'm going to have to walk up that canyon, go around the oxbow to get line of sight, to at least fly the drone up there. So I'll tell you what, why don't we just put that third portal on the back burner for now, and we'll come back up here another day and take another stab at it. All right, well, next weekend we're going to do something fun. We are going to revisit a fluorite mine, okay? 2 winters ago, when I was working with Frank from Exploring Abandoned Mines, him and I documented this fluorite mine together, but during that time, I didn't have my fancy UV flashlights like I do now, and I've always wanted to go back there with my high-powered UV light and take a look at that vein and see how much of it's going to glow when I shine that light on it. So that's what we're going to do next Saturday. All right, well, I appreciate you coming along for another fun adventure. I had a great day on my 50th birthday. This was a lot of fun and a good challenge. And I guess I will see y'all again next weekend. All right, now take care. Bye-bye. Now wait a second. It's coming. We're not quite to the end yet. Keep watching to the end. See you next weekend, guys. Take care. All right, you ready for the big announcement? Well, here it is. I have started another YouTube channel. That's right. This channel is all about everything that doesn't have to do with abandoned mines, okay? Because not all of the places that I go and the things that I do are abandoned mine and mine related. I do a lot of other cool things that I know that you guys would get a kick out of. Like this last summer, I went mudlarking. My sister and I explored an abandoned Army munitions depot. We're going to be exploring the crater in Arizona, as well as the rim of the Grand Canyon. And I have a list of all kinds of fun stuff that I'm going to be doing that isn't mine related, and I want to bring you guys along with me. So the channel that I've created is called Adventure Coolness, okay? And like I said, it has everything to do with everything else I do but abandoned mine exploring. So I'm going to put a link down in the description area to Adventure Coolness, and click on that link. It's going to take you right straight to the channel's homepage. Now understand, guys, I don't have a video posted yet, so when you get there, you're not going to see any videos available. You're just going to see my banner and the channel. So I would really appreciate it if you all subscribe to take a look at what I do when I'm not abandoned mine exploring. And that is also going to be the channel where I'm going to be doing equipment reviews, camera reviews. Like I said today when we were in the mine, and I'm going to tell you about how to safely go exploring or solo exploring and hiking, and any other thing that may pop into my head that I think you guys would kind of enjoy. It's going to be a lot of fun. and over time we'll develop it together, you and I. So please head on over to Adventure Coolness, description down in the area, in the description below. Click on the link and be the first subscribers. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the new channel. Okay, guys, again, thanks for coming along on another fun exploring weekend, and we'll see you again down the road.